Good evening, everybody, and welcome into the Hayden Coker Show live here from Buffalo Wild Wings in Pell City, Alabama. This is the Hayden Coker Show presented to you by Senator Lance Bell. Senator Lance Bell, the best man I know. Senator Lance Bell, the best man that he knows. All right, a big show tonight, guys. We got a big show tonight. I've got the chapstick on hand. No Duke Cannon. No Duke Cannon. I'm pissed off about it. But you know what? It is what it is. We've got some Walmart gas station brand. I don't know the name of it, but we got it on tap today. We got the sweet tea here at Buffalo Wild Wings. Always staying hydrated. And a massive show tonight. So we've got it on hand, and I can't wait to bring this one to you guys. So a lot of what I want to talk about tonight, it's going to be the majority of the next few, I won't say the majority of the topic for the next few shows will be like the Auburn head coaching hire, but a lot of what I want to touch on is going to reside in that area. So we'll touch on it. We'll have that ready for you to go. I've got some news for you, not breaking news. I don't have a hire for you. I'm not going to sit here and break news and say I have news about a hire. I just don't have that. Okay, I'm not that special. Okay, I'm not John Cohen. So regardless. We're going to talk about it. We're going to overreact to a bunch of things, and I can't wait to do it for you. As I look down at the iPad tonight and see a bunch of information that we have tonight, a bunch of intel. When I mean intel, I mean bullcrap coming out of my mouth and going into your ears. I would hope so anyways. Yeah. Anyway, all right, so let's break it down. So Auburn, not a bad finish against Vandy, okay? Obviously, you want to win that game, but Vanderbilt, they pull it out. Diego Pavia had very, very close to 500 yards of total offense. I thought Diego Pavia played a very sound game. I thought Auburn offensively played a sound game as well. Both defenses struggled. After the game, a lot of people were saying, hire DJ Durkin. And then you get feedback, well, he just gave up 45 points to Vanderbilt. And it's like, dude, you cannot simply say that, name this person the head coach for Auburn and them say something negative about it. Oh, well, they just lost, okay? Well, the thing with Matt Campbell not having the greatest year at Iowa State this year, he's still a good ball coach. I don't think he's going to be the next head coach at Auburn by any means. But I'm just saying, I'm just giving an example out there. James Franklin. Do I think that James Franklin should be the head coach at Auburn? No, absolutely not. I don't think he has a great record with the Big Ten. I don't think that statistically, if you look at like a track record per se, let's call it that. Look at his track record, it's not the best, but a lot of people will say just because of the name, okay? Just because of what's happened over the last few years. James Franklin is still a good coach. The problem about it is that it wasn't necessarily the correct fit for Penn State. Now, or I say correct fit. It was a phenomenal fit at first, and I think that everybody kind of saw that. And the main problem ended up being what happened later on into his tenure at Penn State. And that was the problem, okay? He couldn't beat the Big Ten. He couldn't get that big win. He was 1-18 against AP top 20 or AP top 10 teams in the Big Ten. I think 4-24 outside of the Big Ten when it came to AP top 10 teams. So obviously not a great record, but you know what? It's in the past. That stream of water is already flown through, so we don't have to talk about it anymore. I don't think it's going to be James Franklin. I think John Summerall, people saying, oh, it can't be John Summerall. He's not having a great year at Tulane this year. He's not having a bad year. He's had a bad loss. He's still okay. He's still a good coach. He just knocked off Ryan Silverfield at Memphis, by the way. I believe it was at Memphis anyways. Yeah, at Memphis. So that's the thing. Like, people will shout, oh, hey, Ryan Silverfield, John Summerall just beat Ryan Silverfield. I'm not saying that has something to do with the head coaching hire. What I am saying is that people will go back and forth all day about, oh, John Summerall, he lost against UTSA a few weeks ago. That can't be Ryan Silverfield. John Summerall just beat Ryan Silverfield. All right, what about Eli Drinkwitz? Oh, it can't be Eli Drinkwitz because he had to give up his play calling abilities a few years ago. When is it going to stop? Okay, when is we can't hire him? One bad thing happened in his past. We can't hire this guy. He's not so great. We can't hire DJ Durkin because he didn't have a great head coaching track as a head coach at Maryland, which is understandable. I get it. But at the same time, guys, you got to think, like, these are head coaches, and at some point you have to realize that something's going to go wrong in their lives or on the field or off the field, whichever one. You're not going to get Jesus to coach your next football team. I'm sorry, you're not going to. And it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. What we can't have is people going out here and saying, oh, you can't hire this guy. He's not perfect. He's not perfect. It's not going to happen. And that's the most ridiculous thing about it, man. It is so ridiculous to hear that kind of stuff be thrown out. But you know what? It is what it is, and we move on. All right, let's move on. So Auburn, they lost to Vandy 45-38 over the weekend, but DJ Durkin led that team. So what I thought was their best performance all year, that's 100% their best performance offensively. So you can only say good things about that game, about Auburn, unless you're talking about the end of the game. But what's up? We have Caleb Evans on tonight here. We are live. Hope you're doing well, Caleb. Well, man, I'll get you after, okay? Yes, sir. But yeah, so DJ Durkin, I thought he had a phenomenal first appearance as Auburn's interim head coach. Is he going to be the head coach there? We don't know. We shall see. All right, Bama. They beat up on LSU over the weekend at 20-9. Now, let's talk about that game a little bit. The lack of run game from Alabama. Let's talk about it for a second. So, Jam Miller, the leading rusher at Alabama right now. By the way, Jam Miller didn't even play for the first 2 games for Alabama. I understand that. 303 yards on the ground right now. It's not a consistent run game. It's just not. I hate to say it because I feel like that coming into the season, Alabama was supposed to have a pretty good run game. You got Jam Miller. You got guys like Daniel Hill as well, who I think have been, pretty decent factors for this Alabama offense. The problem is they haven't been able to run it effectively enough to establish that run game for opposing teams to be scared. Okay, so I don't necessarily know that right now the run game is going to be a factor going forward. You have Oklahoma this weekend. Even if you were running the ball decently, against the Oklahoma defense, who really stops the run exceptionally well, I don't think that you would have much luck anyways. So I don't think that's going to play too much of a deciding force, a deciding factor in this upcoming game against Oklahoma. Now, that's fine. Everybody can say what they want to about it, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But when it comes to this Alabama team offensively, I think that they'll be fine. Ty Simpson is just absolutely deadly through the air, man. He's just, how do I say it, surgical. Man, he's just phenomenal through the air right now. And I think that people need to start, well, I say people need to start paying more attention. People are paying a lot of attention to the fact that, he could very well win the Heisman. He's thrown 21 pass touchdowns this year compared to 1 interception. That's insane. Although, and I'll shed some light on another quarterback. Starting quarterback at UConn right now, 25 touchdowns on the year, 0 picks on the year. And I think that's phenomenal. So, I don't know. When it comes to quarterback play, of course, Ty Simpson's great. I think that people need to start paying attention to other quarterbacks in the league who aren't turning the ball over as much. Now you have guys like Jackson Arnold who are going out there and not necessarily turning the ball over as much, but we all kind of saw how that's unfolded at Auburn. It's just not the best. It's just not the best experience in the world. I think that any Auburn fan can attest to that. So I don't know. Anyways, moving on from that one, you had Indiana over the weekend knock off a feisty Purdue team, and that was a game, or Purdue. I'm sorry, Alabama and Purdue are playing in the background right now. A feisty Penn State team, and I didn't necessarily think that this was going to be much of a game. I thought that Penn State would keep it close for a little bit, but Indiana would end up pulling away. They ended up winning the game pretty convincingly, but it took a final drive, game winner for Indiana to go down and win this game. And what was just a phenomenal game of catch and throw being played from Omar Cooper and Fernando Mendoza. 4th and goal inside the 10-yard line. Mendoza puts it on a dime, but just a phenomenal catch from Omar Cooper to get his foot down. And I thought that was one of the better catches I've ever seen in my lifetime as a college football fan. Heck, as a football fan, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in college football. One of the best catches I've ever seen in college and NFL as well. In college, NFL, UFL, USFL, what are you going to call it? I think that that was one of the best catches I've ever seen. And I don't think that anybody out there can say that it wasn't, because if you saw the catch, you know exactly what I am talking about. All right. This is the Hayden Coker Show presented to you by Senator Lance Bell, also powered by Steel 174. Steel 174, a construction company based out of Steel, Alabama. Guys like Daniel Welch, Dawson Welch, Bobby Welch, they make that team run, much like Alabama's LeBaron Filon and Aiden Holloway. So, Steel 174, those guys can get it done. Phenomenal building houses. They're not these guys who are just going to put your house up with some rinky-dink wood and whatever. They're going to use 1 or 2 nails. No, these guys are going to go get it done. They're going to get it done at an efficient rate, all right? They are still strong, still reliable, still 174. That's just how those guys roll. All right, now moving on. So let's take a look at Alabama, Oklahoma, who wins this game this weekend. And we're going to roll on to the HCS Tower 12 after this. But I've got some news for you. I've got to break this game down for you because, for one, I think both defenses are pretty good. I think that Oklahoma's defense is better than Alabama's. But I think that Alabama's offense is just a tad better than Oklahoma's right now. And I know that everybody can kind of sit back and say, well, at the beginning of the season, that would not have been something that anybody would have thought. Because, for one, we have Peyton Foreman walking boss in uniform. Yes, he is. But no, I don't think anybody at the beginning of the season would have said anything about Alabama's offense being better than Oklahoma's, simply because of Oklahoma bringing in John Mateer, the likes of Ben Arbuckle as well. So I didn't necessarily think that. I wouldn't have said that at all. Now it's a little bit different. Okay, you have John Mateer on the year who's thrown 8 touchdowns, 7 picks, and it's just not necessarily going the way that he wants it to. So while I do hate it, I hate to say it. I'm a big John Mateer guy, big Ben Arbuckle guy, but I just don't think it's happening right now. They've got to get something under control. They've got to get it figured out. But I think this is Alabama's game to lose. It's in Tuscaloosa. I don't think that the Sooners have what it takes to go in and win this game. I do think it'll be a close game, but I think that offensively, Alabama is just a little too much. I think that they eat the secondary up of Oklahoma's. Ty Simpson has shown this year that he can do that. So give me Alabama. Give me Alabama by 2 touchdowns. I think, and while that may be not necessarily the most popular topic, considering what Oklahoma did at Tennessee, Alabama's a little bit better than Tennessee. Sorry, hate to tell you, hate to say it, hate to break it down to you, but they are. So that's just how I'm feeling right now, guys. But now let's move on. Alabama wins that game, and I think they cover as well. So Alabama wins at Oklahoma. By the way, Torrey Blaylock, the leading rusher for Oklahoma, just 400 yards on the year. And I thought that was interesting as well. I don't know, man. Not great rushing either. Oklahoma, a lot of their offense comes through the air, but it's just not been a great year offensively for Oklahoma. Now moving on. All right, let's do this one real quick. Okay, so we talked about family in Oklahoma. Now I want to move on. We're talking about Clemson and Louisville. So Clemson goes on the road to take on Louisville and Kentucky tomorrow night. Louisville is favored by 2.5. Now let me just tell you this. Okay, a big-time ACC game going on, all right? And yes, it's a big-time ACC game going on because Clemson can ruin Louisville's ACC championship hopes with this game. They can't. Being played on a Friday night when the playoffs of high school football are happening, it's just egregious. Just egregious. It's piss poor, as some would say. I don't know if I have to register this as explicit content now that posting this on for podcasts and whatnot. But anyways, I'm sorry to the podcast hosts out there. But I think that Louisville is going to win this game. I think that it's a closer game. Clemson has what it takes to knock off Louisville, though, man. They come off a win against Florida State last week. Florida State, we're not going to talk too much about them right now. But I think this will be a fun game. Louisville coming off a loss last week. So it's going to be interesting to see. I don't think that either team is very good. I think that Louisville's pretty much average. Clemson below average right now too. So we'll see where that one goes. That's going to be in Louisville, Kentucky. I will take the Cardinals to win that game. But like I said, neither team too much to write home about right now. Notre Dame at Pitt. So right now Notre Dame is 12.5-point favorite on the road in Pittsburgh. So a lot of the Notre Dame fans are going to go into Pittsburgh screaming, "Eat Pitt," and you can fill in the blank there with what I did this morning. So I don't know, man. I think that Pitt is a good football team. I think that Notre Dame is a little bit better of a football team. The game being at Pitt helps Pitt out tremendously, but I think that Notre Dame is going to be a little too much on the ground. I think that C.J. Carr is too precise through the air. So I'm going to go with Notre Dame. I think they take this game, and I think they win it outright. I think they cover the 12.5-point spread, but it'll be a late cover, around probably like a 13-point swing, in my opinion. I think that they'll probably have a 10-point lead there toward the end of the game and kick a field goal or so to extend it to 13 points. But they win this game, they'll cover the 13.5-point spread or 12.5-point spread. Now, Iowa at USC, a big Big Ten game this weekend. Yeah, a big Big Ten game. I'm saying it. USC has a chance to make the college football playoff. They have a chance to make the Big Ten championship game. What's going to happen there? I think that USC being a 6.5-point favorite, I don't think it's too much, but I think that Iowa's defense is going to come into this game And I think they are going to be ecstatic, man. I think they're going to come into this game. I think they're going to come in with a lot of electricity. But I think that USC a little too much. Jaden Mayava is a little too much offensively as well. He's been slinging it all over. Mekhi Lemon, one of the better wide receivers in college football right now. So I'll take USC. I like this Iowa football team. I love Kirk Ferentz. I love that everything that Iowa does as a whole. But I've got to go with USC and the Trojans in this one. Now, I think they cover the 6.5 point spread. Now, moving on. Texas at Georgia. This is going to be a fun one. So, Texas at Georgia, the first matchup in Athens for the two teams. All right. Texas 1-2 all time. This is according to Texas's website, by the way. Texas 1-2 all time over the last few years as well. So, according to Texas' website, anyways, moving on. Texas, this is going to be a fun one. All right, so I got the iPad here, and the iPad is telling me that Texas is currently a 6.5 point dog. So Texas is a 6.5 point dog. Is Arch Manning and company going to go into Athens? Is he going to sling it around? Is Trey Wisner? Is he going to go out there? Is he going to be able to run the ball? Is he going to be effective in the pass game as well? I don't know, man. I just don't see it happening. I cannot see it happening because I think that Georgia at home is going to find a way to win. And while it may not be the prettiest game out there, I think they find a way to win. That's just how I see that game. Georgia, a 6.5 point favorite. I think it's a close game, but I think that Georgia ends up covering and probably wins by 14 to 17 points. And that's just kind of how I see this game. I think that Texas is a good football team. I think that they are very sound on the offensive side of the football, even better defensively. But I just don't think they have what it takes to hang with the likes of Georgia. Georgia, number 5 in the country right now. Texas, number 10. We're going to talk about the HCS Power 12 later. That's the College Football Playoff Committee's rankings right now. But for now, how I have it, is I have Texas losing this game. And I think that Georgia wins it by 14 to 17, somewhere around that area. So, yeah, that's just how we have it. Minnesota, though. Minnesota going on the road to Oregon. 25.5 point favorite are the Oregon Ducks on the year. And I think this is going to be a phenomenal game. I think this is going to be one of those games where Oregon not necessarily caught sleeping, but I think that Minnesota is one of those teams that is just extremely physical, and they can go out there, they can put up a game with you. So I'll take Oregon, but I don't think that Oregon covers that 25.5 point spread. I just don't think they do. It's Alabama just nails a three to take the lead over Purdue 54 to 53. I think that Oregon wins this game, and I think that they win it by maybe 10 to 14 points. I think it'll be a close game. Oregon ends up pulling away 10 to 14 points, somewhere around that area. Now, I have to break it to you guys. I have to take a minute to appreciate one of our sponsors. They let us do the show here every single week. And I could not appreciate them more. We're going to get them over here in just a second. But I'm going to go ahead and get it here real quick. Can I go ahead and grab you real quick? All right. I would like for you to introduce yourself. First off, I want to say I do appreciate you and all that you do for us. Just tell us a little bit about what you do here at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, I got you. I'm the AGM. My name is Lexi Chadwell. I just service the Buffalo Wild Wings, make sure these guys get to go every Thursday to give you guys a really good show. So now we just serve wings and serve the community. That's about all we do.
College football's been on. College basketball's been on. We have the NFL on. I think, is that the Giants and Bears?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the Giants and Bears, and then we have the New England Patriots and Jets as well. So you got and by the way, Buffalo Wild Wings, a bunch of TV. So if you're looking to come down and watch any of your sports teams play, whether it's Auburn, Alabama, the Packers, the Patriots, exactly, yeah, better teams. I can't say anything. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, so I'm kind of glad they don't have them on TV on Sunday. To be honest with you, it saves me. Well, it happens. You got Cam Ward, so it's okay. That's about the only bright spot, right? Yeah. But anyways, I really do appreciate you. So thank you for all you do.
See Hayden every Thursday, guys.
We appreciate you very much. Now, moving on. Fantastic people here at Buffalo Wild Wings as well. Miss Lauren and Miss Lexi, they take care of me each and every single Thursday night here in Buffalo Wild Wings in Pell City. This is a Hayden Coker Show presented to you by Senator Lance Bell. And we have a lot more coming for you tonight. Now I want to go ahead and dive in to the HCS Power 12. So let's go ahead and break it down. We have the HCS Power 12, and I know a lot of people can kind of go around and say, well, these rankings don't matter, Hayden. Hold on, I got the chapstick and whatnot. Listen, chat, man. But everybody can say what they want to about the HCS Power 12. What they don't say, though, is how awesome it is. Fueled by the Buffalo Wild Wings Sweet Tea. They don't mention how awesome it is and how that's the only power ranking that should matter in the world. All right, let's jump into the HCS Power 12. Here we go. Now we have USF coming in at number 12 here at that group of 5 position. So and then we have BYU at number 11. BYU took a loss to Texas Tech last week. Texas Tech absolutely dominated that game. So, yeah, we had BYU falling this week. Brigham Young at number 11. We have the Texas Longhorns sitting at number 10. The Longhorns, they just keep on winning. So we have Texas at number 10. Notre Dame, they're sitting at number 9. They continue to win as well. People can say whatever they want to about maybe not deserving that record or deserving that ranking right now. All I can tell you is I think they're good, man. I think they're good, and I love where they're at right now. That's all I got to tell you. Oregon at number 8. I think I'm not going to lie to you. I debate whether or not I should drop them just a little bit, just a tad. Texas Tech, number 7. Texas Tech continues to prove why the Red Raiders are in that top 7 position. Ole Miss at number 6. Ole Miss continues to win. Georgia as well at number 5. Georgia is one of those teams who is going to have to prove it this weekend. I think they do. And I think they will. There's a chance they end up jumping, depending on what places 1 through 4 do. Alabama at number 4, they continue to win as well. They continue to prove people wrong. And the pass game has continued to be exceptional. Ty Simpson is just phenomenal at that quarterback position. Fernando Mendoza at Indiana as well, who's been phenomenal. Indiana at number 3. Texas A&M at number 2. They jump Indiana after the Hoosiers struggle with Penn State on the road. But we understand Indiana gets their first win in state college ever. So that's props to them. A&M at 2. And the Ohio State Buckeyes at number 1. Rightfully so. We think the Ohio State Buckeyes deserve that ranking. We think they've been phenomenal all year. Although they haven't played anybody as opposed to week 1, you've seen them play Minnesota. They blew Minnesota out in that game. And I think that Minnesota, if you just look at their record 6-3 right now, you wouldn't necessarily think that that's I think they're kind of average as well, but I'm not going to sit here and say they're an awful team. I think they're pretty decent. Ohio State's also beat Penn State as well. So Ohio State continues to beat some of these teams. By the way, they beat Illinois as well when they were in the top 25. So they continue to win, and until they show me otherwise, I'm not gonna bump them out of that number 1 position. So that's where I have them right now, and that's where we're gonna keep them. So that's the HCS Power 12 for this week. That's for week 12. And next week we'll have it to you. We will put that HCS Power 12 out Sunday. I believe Sunday morning. It varies it's varied over the last few months, or over the last month, from Sunday morning to Sunday afternoon. But for now, it's going to be for Sunday morning. If we have any type of news changes on that, we will let you guys know. But here we go. For now, that's Sunday morning. All right, moving on. We're going to talk about the SEC and the playoffs. Okay. How many teams do the SEC have in the playoffs right now? I'm going to break it down for you real quick. We got Alabama sitting at that number 4 spot. A&M sitting at that number 3 spot. That's 2. Georgia at 5. Then you have Ole Miss at number 7. You have Oregon at number 8. You have Notre Dame number 9. Texas 10. OU at 11 and BYU at 12. So that's A&M, Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss. Then you have Texas, Oklahoma, all in the top 20 or the top 12 rankings right now in the college football playoff rankings. So I think the SEC is continuing to prove why they are the best conference in college football. People try and make the argument for the Big Ten all the time. And I just never have understood that. I don't understand that. So that's just one thing for me. I don't understand why people say the Big Ten is the best conference in college football right now, because you have Ohio State, you have Indiana, you have Oregon, you can claim Iowa, I guess. Penn State's not even in the picture anymore. Washington, you can claim them, I guess. It's just it's not a great conference top to bottom. It's very top heavy. You have those 3 teams in Oregon, Indiana, and Ohio State that genuinely make an argument. Now, switch gears for a minute. Those are those guys. All right, now let's break it down for a second and let's talk about the SEC. Alabama, Ole Miss, okay, Texas, Georgia, LSU's falling off. We won't count them, but you also have other guys. So, and that's one thing that I don't necessarily. I still don't necessarily understand, man. I just don't necessarily understand it. Ole Miss is one of those teams that's kind of been on the border of that elite SEC team over the last few months, over the last few years. Now I think they've really started to take that step. I would say Ole Miss is an elite team right now. By the way, I think Mississippi State, with the losing record, is still a really good SEC team. Okay, now last week it was one of those times where I think it kind of stands out. That's an outlier. But yeah, I think the LSU, and I marked them off a minute ago. I think the LSU is still a pretty good football team. I think the LSU's done a phenomenal job. Well, phenomenal. They've done a great job post Brian Kelly trying to get things facilitated as opposed to putting another staff together. Now, I think that I don't know when they will hire another head coach. I don't know who that head coach will be, but I think it's going to come in the offseason at some point, whether they retain their interim coach, which I don't think they will, or whatever they decide to do. But I think that LSU is one of the top jobs in the country right now. Anybody would be stupid not to, if you're a head coach and somebody calls you, if you don't want to, if you don't even take a peek at it, you'd be stupid. Unless you're, obviously, in case you just love where you're at, then it's a different story. But yeah, the quality of jobs at LSU is just phenomenal. So that's another job out there. And I think that with the more and more some of these jobs that come open, heck, Arkansas, Florida, those are two big jobs as well in the SEC along with Auburn. So it's different, man. I think you have a bunch of different teams out there that could make a case for a good SEC team. So I think that the SEC right now, 10, 11 deep, 12 deep, it's just depending on who you ask. Vanderbilt is up there as well. Vanderbilt having an exceptional year, especially for their standard as well. So it's different, man. It depends on who you are. I think that you could say the Big Ten is better, but it doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand it. I never have understood it, and yeah, it is what it is. Now moving on. Now let's break down the college football playoff committee's top 12. All right. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Indiana. Number 3, A&M. Number 4, Bama. Georgia at number 5. Texas Tech at 6. You have Ole Miss at 7. Oregon at 8. Notre Dame at 9. Texas at number 10. Oklahoma at number 11. And BYU at number 12. So yeah, that's the top 12 in the college football playoffs right now. I think that there's a lot going on in the college football playoff. I think they're in the rankings. I think this is going to change up drastically over the next few weeks. BYU has a big game at Cincinnati next week, so that one's going to be fun as well as we take another peek at the HCS Power 12 and what the HCS Power 12 says and what they think. But yeah, BYU in the HCS Power 12 sitting at that number 11 position, and that's going to be one of those. See, BYU is just in a position right now where you don't necessarily know if they are going to hold on to that spot, because for me, I think that personally, BYU is probably going to drop out. I think that Cincinnati is one of those teams that they have a little fire to them, and I think they end up winning the next game. So yeah, that's just how I see that one going. Now, college basketball starting as well. So college basketball starting this week or last week, excuse me. Auburn looking pretty solid. First game against Bethune-Cookman, not necessarily too hot. They bounced back in their second game and they look pretty dominant as well. Now, moving on, Alabama playing tonight against Purdue. Alabama knocked off St. John's in the second game of the season for them anyways. They're looking good right now offensively. Purdue and Alabama playing right now as well. It's on commercial here at Buffalo Wild Wings, as well as you have Thursday night football as well. And by the way, as we're talking about midweek action, if you have not watched any midweek action, you need to get on it. Ohio, the Bobcats are playing a good brand of football. The Miami of Ohio, the Red Hawks are playing pretty well. So there's a bunch of different teams in the MAC who are playing some pretty good ball. Wyoming, not necessarily one of those teams that just pops off the page. They're fun to watch, so I like watching them. So yeah, that's just kind of it right now. This is the Hayden Coker Show presented to you by Senator Lance Bell. Senator Lance Bell, the best man I know, the best man that he knows. All right, moving on. So this weekend, we talked about matchups earlier, matchups for this upcoming week earlier on in the show. Now, a basketball matchup, we have Auburn taking on Houston in Birmingham on Sunday. So that's going to be Sunday at 2 o'clock. That's going to be a fun one. I'm excited for that one. Me and Joseph Coker, my cousin, one good buddy of mine, will be in attendance for that game. We'll be boots on the ground, or as I'm wearing right now, Nikes on the floor in Birmingham. So that's going to be a fun game as well. And I'm excited. I'm extremely excited for that one. So yeah, we've got a big week in sports, a big weekend in sports, and I hope to see you guys next week as we come back. Next week, we will break down some of this weekend's games. We will break down next week's games as well, the college football playoff rankings. The committee are pushing those out every single week, and from now to the end of the season. So that's going to be fun as well. But yeah, that's the Hayden Coker Show, man, and that's just it from me. And we will see you guys next week as I take my chapstick with me, as I take my Buffalo Wild Wings sweet tea with me, as I get refreshed real quick. We will see you guys next week. Y'all stick around. Y'all be careful. Have a good one. Stay updated on the page for more content that we will be pushing out soon. And yeah, we'll have it for you. So I appreciate you guys. Y'all take care. Be careful, and don't get in any trouble. We'll see you next week. Don't go to jail. All right. We'll see you next week. This is the Hayden Coker Show.